Hey guys, I'm here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and walking the boardwalk here early in the morning before the games go off. And I gotta tell you, there's a lot of interesting things going on in sports right now. Obviously, the March Madness tournament's going on. Aaron Rodgers. I'll get into that next week, but I gotta tell you, man, this tournament is different than any other tournament. There's usually a pretty decided favorite in this tournament. I don't think the public is buying in on Houston. I just don't see that people are clamoring to jump onto Houston. I think Houston's a very good team, but obviously it's going to take some convincing for a mid-major like Houston. And yeah, they are still a mid-major to really convince people. Look, it took Gonzaga a long time for people to be convinced on them, and they're not really a mid-major team anymore. You can't consider them a mid-major team, not with all the money that they spend on their basketball program. So there is no pure number one. The pure number one that you would have is probably Alabama, right? I mean, Alabama, the number one overall seed. Had Sasser not been hurt, Houston could have been that. But overall, the number one overall seed is Alabama. And you look at Alabama and you go, it's just not a bettable team when you're talking about, a bankable team, I should say, when you're talking about what the public likes. Public likes to root for teams that are fun to root for, right? Well, Miller has made them the evil enemy, the bad team. So you might bet on this team and say, well, they're the best team. Sure. But when most people are filling out brackets, guys, and you're going out there and you're filling out brackets, you're looking for a winner, you want somebody to root for the next month or so, right? 3 weeks or so. You want somebody that you want to be in a casino, whatever it might be, yelling and cheering and screaming and enjoy the win. It's not usually about just winning the bracket for people. They want to enjoy the process. Enjoying the process with a guy like Miller right now, with all that's going on in the Alabama program, it's not a good, smart thing to think that the public's going to do that. They're just not. And I don't blame people for not going out there and doing this with Miller. Miller's, at this point, look, he's a bad guy. I don't know how much you want to go out there and legally say what he has done or whatnot. But look, he's a bad guy. By the way, guys, if you like this video, please like below, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, do all the notifications and everything else. So, this is a tournament that's unlike any other because you don't have that rootable team. Now, you could tell me that the Blue Bloods out there are easy teams to root against every year. Yeah, I get it. You kind of can. You have your Kentucky haters, your UNC haters, your Duke haters. You have all that. Kansas haters, sure. But generally speaking, the top teams this year, you don't really have haters unless, obviously, the Alabama situation, because they're not really Blue Bloods. The other two, Kansas, sure, they're on a repeat. And you're going to have your fair share of Kansas haters. But Bill Self recently has started to become kind of the anti-hero, right? People started hating Bill Self. But generally speaking, Kansas isn't a team that garners that much hate. Now, Kansas, I didn't mention as being one of the top two teams because they have not looked great. Look, Texas had their number, and Texas really exposed them late in the season. So maybe they're not the favorite, but they're defending champions. They are healthy. They do have tremendous players on that team. Look, I look at this Kansas team and I go, yeah, they could win it all. How about Purdue? Well, Purdue lets teams down pretty much every year, right? Every year, Purdue seems like the team that's going to be okay. Every year, it seems like Purdue is going to be that team that moves on. So all four number ones this year, not exactly the teams that people are going to go and say, oh, yeah, I'm running, and the public is going to say, I'm going to run to it, or really run against it outside of Alabama because of the obvious, right? So you start to look at two seeds and you say, who can that be? Well, Arizona's there, UCLA's there. UCLA does have an injury. Arizona's flying under the radar. You go into a Marquette. You're starting to get into different teams. And that brings me to my point. This year is quite different because I'm looking at my brackets, and the more and more brackets I fill out, we know that you're going to get at least one, probably two, maybe even three number ones in the Final Four. We know that they're going to get to the Elite Eight. I think there's only been one or two instances ever where two teams didn't make the Sweet 16. So they're going to go far. Two number ones, I mean. They're going to go far. The more I fill out my brackets, guys, and the more that I went through my brackets and filled it out, the more I consistently have fours in there, the more I consistently have at least twos. I know I'm a little high on the Big East than everybody else, but I consistently had deeper teams. We talk about Cinderella teams, right? There's no pure Cinderella team ever. There are no Cinderella team has ever really won it. You want to talk about an 8 seed? Well, that's the highest seed that's ever won it. An 8 seed is still in the top half. Are they a Cinderella squad? Sure. And can a Cinderella team win a game or two and have fun? You know, St. Pete's is all you have to do to say, yeah, absolutely. We know a Cinderella team can move on. I made a lot of money with Max Asmus and Oral Roberts a couple of years ago, winning 2 rounds. That can happen, but I'm talking about national championships, right? National championship ability, the ability to win national championships. You just don't get that, guys, when you're talking about, a Cinderella team. So you can immediately eliminate everybody, in my opinion, everybody from like 6 on, right? 7 seeds not winning, 8 seeds not winning. And even those 6 seeds, I don't know. But you start getting into the 5 seeds, hey, everybody loves those 5-12 matchups. Everybody's already kind of jumping on Furman. The public loves them. Can I see Virginia going on a run? Yeah, sure. I kind of like Drake in that 5-12 seed. Could I see Miami going on a run? Could we see the ACC champion Duke team go on a run? I think so. I know all 4 ESPN analysts actually went out there and they picked Duke to make a Final Four. So they're seeing what I'm seeing. Now, I don't believe in Duke at all, but they're seeing in what I'm seeing, which is this could be the year where we look at the Final Four and you see maybe one number 1 and then a 4, a 5, maybe a 2 or a 3 in there. And it's diverse. It's getting into a situation where, because a lot of the Blue Bloods have had a down year this year, that all of a sudden it opens up the field. Don't go out there and go sitting back and thinking of 10 seeds making the Final Four. Don't fall in love with the St. Peter's story that happened last year and think it can be repeated. Don't even fall in love with the Oral Roberts story that happened a couple of years ago and say, hey, maybe they'll be a little bit better, right? They actually have a pretty tough draw. I like Oral Roberts, but they have a tough draw. So when you're filling out your brackets today and when you're moving forward, because everybody kind of just looks at, I'm going to fill out my bracket today. Well, you can go back in and kind of reassess things. It's not going to be the number 1s that you want to jump on. It's not going to be the Cinderellas. So it's these mid teams, right? Maybe the unappreciated number 2. I'm looking at you, Marquette, right? Maybe the underappreciated number 3, potentially a 4 seed, a UConn. Makes a lot of sense to me. A 5 seed. You guys want to know who I have in my brackets? Look, I fill out 3 brackets because I get invited to 3 different contests, right? So I fill out 3 brackets. I don't want to have the same, generally, I'm going to have generally the same Final Four teams. But this year I had a hard time. So this year in one of my brackets, I had UConn, a 4 seed winning it all. One of my brackets, I had Texas. I can't get out of my head what Texas did to Kansas. So I had Texas, I had UConn. The other bracket, you know what? I had Marquette. So I don't have a 1 seed winning any of them, but I didn't get too crazy. I mean, the UConn bet is the craziest bet that I have. How about my brackets? Well, like I said, I filled out a bunch of brackets, filled out 3 different brackets. I do have Oral Roberts going pretty far because, again, I think we all look at that Duke bracket and you go, if they could beat Duke, right? It opens it wide up, and that's why people like Duke, because it's a weak field. And if Duke wins, all of a sudden they can open that up. So I have Oral Roberts, so that was me taking a shot. I have another bracket where I have Vermont winning 2 games. Huge underdog, 10.5 point underdog. I don't suggest doing it, but you have to take some shots here. In all but a few instances over the past decade or so, we've had 2 double-digit seeds make the Sweet 16, right? So, I mean, they go on, they win. So you have to find those double-digit seeds. Who do you guys like out there? Who's your double-digit seed this year? So just wanted to give you a quick rundown. I'll be doing some more of these videos over the course of the weekend. I'm here live in Atlantic City, and I love the sports book this time of year. It's just fantastic. And it is important to me. I know everyone's got the apps and stuff. I like the feel of the sports book. I like to know, what are we going to do for in-game? I like to kind of get the feel of the people around and what they're talking about and what they're feeling, maybe play off the public a little bit. I like to do all that. But if you can't get to the game, hey, sportsbook is really a tremendous atmosphere. If you go to a good sportsbook, it's camaraderie, people cheering, it's going crazy. So that's why I'm here. That's going to do it for me, guys. Look, again, I'll continue to, and I'll be a lot steadier. I won't be walking all weekend. I'll continue to post these videos up, give you my thoughts on a couple of topics. Obviously, when Aaron Rodgers drops next week, you guys could hear from me there. I am Tom Barton from TomBartonSports.com. Go check me out, TomBartonSports.com, Tom Barton Sports over at Twitter. And if you like the channel, please like and subscribe. Have a very good day, everybody.